Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Very Biased Opinions coverage of the League One. It's Prediction Week 24. I'm Tom, this is Ian, and before we get started on our fantastic predictions, Ian, who won last week?
Firstly, Tom, Oxford haven't played in so long, I've grown a full-on beard.
A playoff beard.
Full-on beard. I've got a bird living in here somewhere. What do you mean, who won? I won the last round in the number of games were a joke because there was hardly any played, but I did come out on top with one correct score. I won by 6 points to 3 on the New Year's Day-ish fixtures, which means that was double points. So I've taken a little lead for once. I am up by 10 points to 8. I'm sure that will get evaporated quickly, but I'm also going to give you our comment of the week, which comes from the amazingly named King Walsh of Dank Memes. But I am disappointed he didn't give a meme, even though, not. But he said, come on, you yellows. Yellows? 4-1, Oxford win. And he was probably the closest person to getting that score right. So yeah, we love it. Thank you,
yes.
King Walsh of Dank Memes. Please give us many more comments. That is it. I've butchered it enough. Thomas, hit me with the first game.
AFC Wimbledon versus Sunderland.
Thomas, we haven't seen Sunderland for since they had their very, very disappointing draw. Surprise, surprise, with Northampton Town on New Year's Day.
Jesus.
Score. AFC Wimbledon looks like their season's falling off a cliff. They're doing terribly. Sunderland, they are always around this time of year linked with every single player. So no doubt Lee Johnson will try and bring some players in. We haven't seen how they've got on in today's game. So I really don't know what to pick in this one.
I need to temper my rage right now, because if Sunderland were to magically win their next 2 games, they'd be on 35 points. They'd be quite literally tied for 3rd place, and everything would be fine. But what the hell are you people doing? Who runs this club? Why can you not just... Ian. It's insulting.
We've got no dog in the fight when it comes to Sunderland, and we're frustrated by them. What the hell, Sunderland fans?
Talk to me. Unload some rage in the comments, because there's no way you're not feeling it. The manager doesn't make a huge amount of sense. The form is indifferent to awful. You're having trouble scoring goals. You're not conceding any. I mean, you're one of the best defenses in the league, but you just can't put anything together after such a strong start. How are you feeling? What is going on? Really quickly, AFC Wimbledon, possibly the worst form in the league outside of Burton Albion, who lose every game. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They're falling apart. They've lost 4 of their last 5.
We'll get to Burton. Look, I don't think Wimbledon are as bad as their form says, but we saw the game against Oxford. They were pretty decent in that game. But for whatever reason, they're shipping goals and they're struggling. Surely you have to win this game, Sunderland. Surely you have to win this game. I'm just going to lay it out there. 2-0 Sunderland.
I'm going to go 1-0, because I feel like this is the sort of... You have to keep backing Sunderland until they figure it out. But again, Wimbledon fans, how do you feel you're doing? Let us know in the comments. Sunderland fans, how do you feel about this season and the utter, just poor management of everything in the club? Let us know in the comments. Moving on, Ian.
Oh my God. I don't really want to talk about this. Accrington, Stanley, yes, they're in the playoffs, versus Gillingham. Look at him.
Season ends today. Cancel it due to COVID. Points per game be in there. Accrington are in the playoffs.
Glory supporter who grew up bloody supporting Chicago Bulls, Blackhawks, White Sox.
Fire.
Never even knew what soccer was. Man United fan, Glory supporter. Didn't even know there was a league outside of the Premier League till 2 seasons ago. Now has jumped on this Accrington Stanley bandwagon.
Yeah, I was about to say, just out of interest, has anyone following Accrington Stanley ever been called a Glory supporter? Just out of interest. They have the best defense in the league outside of Portsmouth.
Outside of Oxford?
No, that's wrong. That's very wrong. Oxford conceded 10 more goals than them. Stanley are a revelation this year, Ian. They're a revelation. They make football beautiful for everybody. And you know what's nice about Stanley is they're not that scum like the chair boys of Wycombe Wanderers. They don't play this negative style of 20% possession and we hope that Akin Fenwal wins a penalty or scores a goal. They play good football. They win matches. They're playing well. I don't even need to talk about Gillingham because they won't even matter in this game because they've lost 4 of their last 5. They've been incredibly poor, and they're going to get beaten by the Stanley side 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal, Accrington. 6th in the league, got 4 games in hand on Lincoln. You win all 4 games, you're top of the league. Top of the league. It's unreal what job John Coleman's doing there this season. But do not forget that you lost 4-1 to Oxford United. That will forever be a black day on your Gillingham, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's fallen off a cliff. You know, they lost again today, lost to Burton. We'll get to Burton in a bit. It's a great result for them. Horror show for Gillingham. They're on a terrible run of form, and when they're not good, they look very stale and very turgid and very predictable. And goals are hard to come by. So all signs point to an Aki win, really, don't they? I'm going to go for a 2-0. Oh, no, sorry, Tom. What was your score?
2-1.
I'll go for 2-0 Accrington.
Nice. That was my initial reaction, but then I went, well, you know. Bristol Rovers versus Athletic Charlton.
Yeah, Charlton, it's all going a bit wrong at the moment, isn't it, for Charlton? We get comments from Charlton fans, and thank you very much.
Yeah. And
talking a lot about the injury problems, and they got injury problems at the back. I know there's like finger pointing at Bowyer now as well a little bit, like losing patience with him, but a disappointing result for them. They had I think they actually lost to Accrington, didn't they? They lost 2-0 to Accrington Stanley last night, I believe. Yeah, really just 2 draws, 2 losses, 1 win in the last 5. Dropped out of the playoffs. They're now up against the Bristol Rovers, a difficult opponent in Bristol Rovers, who've done really well in the cup today, Tom. They've only narrowly been beaten by Sheffield United.
Yeah, 3-2. What a game for them. Also, really quickly, Charlton fans, thank you, for coming back and giving us some information and not like tearing us apart for possibly saying something you didn't like about your club. This relates to every team in the league. If you just give us some background generally, we don't hate you. We're just enjoying chatting to each other and talking about football. So let us know what's going on with your club. It makes it a lot easier for us to talk about it, and it's hard to cover 24 teams in League One.
Speak for yourself. I hate every team in League One apart from one, and that team is
Swindon Town.
Charlton Athletic. No, I don't know who that team is.
But Bristol Rovers, obviously, narrow loss. They actually are in pretty decent form in League One now. They've won 3 of their last 5. They've kind of pulled themselves a little bit away from the relegation danger they were in. They're 2 points clear now. Ian, I have to go for a Charlton win. I have to think that they're going to figure something out here, and I have to think they're going to win 1-0.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Charlton. I'm going to go for a Rovers win. They had a good 2-1 win against Blackpool last time out, and I think they'll find a way to win this one at home as well. Generally pretty good at the Memorial Ground, and I think it'll be another 2-1 win for Rovers. Flying up the league, the gas.
Right, at least we both agree that Charlton will get a goal.
That's true. Like a phoenix from the flames, it's resurgent. Burton Albion up against Ipswich Town.
My league table has yet to update with the 3 points that Burton have just put up. But with the 3 points Burton have just put up, they clamber up to 23rd place, below Wigan Athletic on goal difference, and with a nice green W on the right-hand side of their recent form. This is huge. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank he's returned the love to the city, Ian. He's brought back that loving feeling.
It's a wonderful result. It's a great, it's almost like the perfect result to win and get a clean sheet. Like it's absolutely stunning to do that in the first game. I mean, to go and also, and believe me, we'll talk about this later on. They lost 5-1 to Oxford, and they gifted Oxford. They were all over the place at the back. They gifted Oxford goals. You can see reviews on it that we've done, and to take that and then go and get a 1-0 result away is really encouraging. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that he looks a scary bastard.
Jimmy Floyd.
Oh my god. Look, when he stared, immediately in a bad mood, I would not want to be in the same room as Hasselbank.
I mean, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was a very accomplished player, and the fact he went down to Burton in the first place, brought him up, had a go at QPR. No one should ever have a go at QPR. It's a poison chalice most of the time. But he's back at Burton. He knows the club. He has the clout. They are good enough to stay in this league. I mean, just so you know, Burton, if you can get to 19th place, you will become mediocrity incarnate again. That's all I'll call you.
You can reach those dizzy heights again, Burton.
You can reach the dizzying heights of 12th to 14th place in the league.
They are still bottom, though, Tom.
They are. Has it updated? Is that with the 3 points?
If you go on the live game where they won, it does show a live league table.
So they're still only on 16 points. Okay, right. Fair enough. They just haven't updated on the right side. Anyway, right. Ian, we've talked a lot about Burton. Really quickly, you have 20 seconds to talk about Ipswich before we give our predictions.
I don't really have too much to say against Ipswich. They're bound to get a win in their next game because they're playing Swindon in about half an hour's time. So they'll be coming off the back of a nice 3-0 win, no doubt. And I think I'm going to be back in a draw in this one, Tom. I think I'll let you go first, though. Go on, jump in. Yeah, I think we're going to copy each other on this one. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Ian, this would have been the premier match to lead off the round if it weren't for shocking news coming out of the home team, because Fleetwood Town host Portsmouth SC.
So, Thomas, again, I have to remind you, this is a game between playoff semi-final losers, Fleetwood Town and Portsmouth. But a lot has changed. You're absolutely right with Fleetwood. I mean, it looked weird when Joey Barton got rid of Ched Evans. And then Joey Barton left, rather surprisingly, over Christmas. I mean, Fleetwood haven't played for fucking ages. I haven't played since Boxing Day in the league. And it just felt that something wasn't quite right with that Ched Evans sacking. And it's obviously clear that something's not quite right. Because from the outside looking in, Joey Barton was doing a solid job with them. Doing all right.
Is there room for Ched Evans to come back? Like, was it a...
No, he's gone on loan. He's gone on loan already. He's gone on loan to Preston.
Okay. So they can always drag him back if they need, I suppose. But
maybe, I don't know. They might do. I imagine they might have been some financial compensation there or something, which will mean they won't want to drag him back. But yeah, so they haven't put a new manager in charge yet. I don't believe Fleetwood have put a new manager in charge yet. So all signs kind of point to Pompey being more favourite than they probably were at the start of it, because they're in good form, playing well, coming off. They haven't played their FA Cup round yet at the time of filming this, but it could be some troubling times for Fleetwood ahead. I think. I feel like Barton was gluing a lot of that side together, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing Barton proved is that he was actually quite a decent football manager. Unfortunately, he's not a decent human being, and that's really he's brought his chickens home to roost.
Yeah, you feel like that squad was quite united under him, you thought, and I don't know. Well, he felt it was, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe they got a bit tired of him, and although Pompey looked really strong and solid under Jacket, they're having a good run of form at the moment, and they're never too far away from a Jacket out chance at Pompey, I don't think. But he's keeping them under his jacket for now, and I think Pompey will win. I think they will win 3-1.
I think they will win 2-1, but they always want to change that coat. That's the joke, right? I got that one right.
Yes.
Hull City versus Blackpool.
This should be a good one, I think. I think a lot of these games we had the reverse of these fixtures quite recently, didn't we? But
I mean, you look at the Oxford match, we've had the reverse 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Hull weren't in great form, but I think the little bit of a break they had has done them the world of good, because they did look a little bit rejuvenated in their last game, and they looked pretty good, and they got back to winning ways with a 2-0 win against Charlton side, who were struggling a little bit. They have lost Adelican, though. I think he's gone back on loan. He's been recalled from his loan, so they have lost him. But I think like Sunderland, they are linked with quite a few players to come in, and I would say they're pretty much over their blip. And Blackpool, weird, aren't they? Just carry on being weird.
You don't know what Blackpool you're going to get. What we do know is they're patchy, a bit like Watford were in the Premier League, but not as extreme. They'll win 3 or 4, have a really good run, defensively be sound, and then all of a sudden they'll lose 2 matches on the bounce, and both matches they'll deserve to lose. It's not like they're losing close games. They lose, and they should lose, if you know what I mean. A huge amount of defence.
The criticism that I've heard from Blackpool fans about Critchley is a bit of a tinker man. And I think we highlighted that as well. He's just literally constantly never picking the same 11, always do it very, like trying to do a different formation for every game, which, you know, I think League One, I think the more successful sides tend to say play the same team week in, week out, and being the Tinkerman's more of a kind of being a bit too cute, I think, for League One.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think that this is going to be a Hull City victory, although I always back Hull and they never come through for me. Just like last week when I backed them to beat Charlton, they did. I backed Charlton to win that. I'm a fool. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just talking nonsense.
Yeah, you did. I'm surprised you did. But Hull were in bad form, and they haven't played for a while, so I can understand why you did that. What was your score on this one, Tom? Sorry.
2-1.
I think Hull striker Medine, he came out and talked about the kind of how bad coronavirus is when it hits through your camp, and how you shouldn't underestimate how much effect that does have on professional football players and the team, and how long that takes for people to get over. And I think that sort of coincided with Hull's slump as well. But I think Hull will win. I think it's going to be a good thumping win for the Tigers. Show their teeth, you could say. 3-0 to Hull. Peterborough United versus the Milton Keynes Dons.
Ian, is Peterborough back?
It's little shoots of recovery, I would say. Shoots.
Yeah.
They looked encouraging in the game against Lincoln today at times.
Top of the league about a month ago, looking unplayable, banging in goals. It was them and Fleetwood, and then just kind of fell apart for a couple games. Got a win, would fall apart for another couple games. Coming off a couple decent games, the 1-1 draw with Lincoln. I think at the end of the day, Peterborough are going to be happy with that draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. I just watched that game today. I mean, that's their first game in the league for a while as well. So you could see that the players were a little bit rusty. They came out the gate like firing, like on all guns blazing, and really took the game to Lincoln and really pushed Lincoln back. And Clark Harris looked really good, and Smodix looked really good, and Dembele. But Lincoln are a good side, and they came back into it, and you could see they hadn't played for a month because they looked pretty knackered at the end. But they went down to 10 men and held on, and they still looked like they were going for the win. So weird afternoon for Peterborough fans, I would say. They run the gambit of emotions.
And talked about MK Dons, won their last two. They've beaten Bristol Rovers and they've beaten Swindon. Obviously a loss to the Green Army right before that. They've already had a match postponed against Rochdale. They're currently drawing 1-1 with Burnley. I mean, we know I love MK Dons because they are a possession-based side, and possession equals wins. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think there's a Mourinho coach quote, isn't there, about that? Talking about how you're living in a fantasy land, Pickering.
Yes.
Unlucky as well, MK Dons. That's a 94th minute equaliser for Burnley in the cup as well. I think Peterborough are going to win this game.
Yeah, I think Peterborough are going to win it as well. I think they're showing real signs of life and being back. And as long as this match is played, what do you think the scoreline will be, Ian?
I think Russell Slade's a bit of a clown, to be honest. Crap manager, a bit of a clown. Peterborough 4-0.
4-0. It's funny because I am going 3-0.
I am only joking. I am saying that to wind Thomas up, but come at me, Milton Keynes Don fans, all one of you. Plymouth Argyle.
Green Army
versus Crewe Alexandra.
Choo choo.
You know why?
I'm assuming because they're the trains.
Very close. They're called the Railwaymen.
Ah, the Railwaymen. So it's the Railwaymen versus the Green Army.
Do you know why they're called the Railwaymen? Because there's a very famous bus station in Crewe.
Oh,
and an airport, but no train station.
Is there actually?
No, it's a train station.
Oh, okay. So now that you've watched that startling 30 seconds of
Comedy Gold, folks, brought to you by Very Biased Opinions 2021.
Oh, I'm enjoying this. We haven't spoken in a while. Plymouth remain a bit like Blackpool. Win a couple, lose a couple, draw a couple, just kind of throw shit at a wall. Some of it'll stick, some of it won't. I actually don't really know what to say about Plymouth. I don't know which team is ever going to come out. Crewe have looked really solid this year. They've sat under the promotion places, I think, pretty much all year and proven that they deserve to be in the league and that last year wasn't a fluke, despite Ian's heinous comments about their performance in League Two and about them having 6 fans. I remember that. That was quite funny, though. Ian, thoughts on this match really quickly?
Well, Crewe have just had a shocker, Tom. They were 3-0 up against Rochdale, and they've proceeded to draw 3-3 with the Dale. So, bit of a shocker for them. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They continue to be on the cusp of something, but they just seem to like falter at the inappropriate time. And obviously, I think they are a good side and a work in progress, and they're definitely doing exceptionally well in the league. Plymouth aren't doing bad either. They're just inconsistent. Their away form is garbage, but they're actually pretty good at home. So I would say this is going to be a close game.
Plymouth and Blackpool, I think every single year, you and I are like, if they take that little step forward, they're a playoff team.
Well,
but you
Plymouth
never
have
back
had to go
them.
down to come back up. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, and Plymouth have got one of the best strikers in the league in Jeff Cott. I mean, if they can keep hold of him in this window, then they'll definitely should be fine. Mid-table, no problem at all.
So, thoughts on this game, Ian?
Be tight. I'm gonna go for a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Going 2-1 to the Green Army.
Good man. I like backing your Green Army.
Gotta do it. Ian's beloved Rochdale versus Wigan Athletic.
All hail the Dale. 3-0 down, just like Jesus. They've risen from the dead to get a 3-3 draw.
Get it.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I'm not saying anything about Rochdale. They're in the relegation places, and that's where they deserve to be. Wigan are in the relegation places. That's probably where they deserve to be. These clubs right next to each other. This is going to be a cracking game of football.
It'll be something. You feel there'll be goals in it, though, don't you? Because both sides do score, but they can't defend for love nor money. Wigan off the field failed takeover again, isn't it? Like they've had that's all fallen through, so they don't seem to be able to catch a break in that regard. But you know me, Tom. You know how much I love Rochdale. It's dates back in my family all of 0 years, and I'm going for a cracker at Scotland. 3-2 to the Dale.
Oh, fantastic! Because I'm going 3-2 to the Athletic. I'm so glad we have the same score but for different teams. It has goals, and it has depressing goals.
Shrewsbury Town versus top of the table Lincoln City, or Town as Tom's put here.
Really quickly, this might be the match of the round, really. Lincoln flying high, top of the league. Obviously, they just had a 1-1 draw with Peterborough United. Shrewsbury apparently can't stop winning.
Well, is
that true?
Yeah, I mean, the game against Southampton was called off for COVID. Was that a Southampton thing, or was it a Shrewsbury thing?
I think it was a both thing, wasn't it?
Right.
I don't know. I honestly.
So there's question marks over whether this one will be played. In good form though, Shrews. They're definitely. I mean, look at the form table. They've had 4 wins out of the last 5. Steve Cottrell's really. Well, we've talked about in loads of videos how he's made them harder to beat. They're beating a lot of good sides. This is going to be no easy game for Lincoln, but Lincoln are flying.
Yeah, Lincoln top of the league for good reason. They look like they can handle anybody, and I think that against the Shrewsbury Town side that are significantly further down the table, and whilst they're in good form, they are not Lincoln City. I think backing anything outside of Lincoln City win is fool's gold, so I'm going 2-0 to the City.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Lincoln today. I mean, they were backs to the wall against Peterborough, and a lot of sides can buckle against this Peterborough side, but they stuck in there. They looked really good on the counter-attack. And then in the second half, the likes of Grant and Scully looked excellent on the ball and played really well. Monster at the back is an absolute beast as well. But they had a chance. They should have won, really. They missed a penalty. I mean, Grant had a good game, but he ballooned a penalty over the bar, which was really poor. So they should have won that one. I think they'll win this one. I think they'll edge this one. I think it will be 2-1 to Lincoln. The team that shall not be named versus Doncaster Rovers.
Now, very quickly, before Ian launches into some tirade or refuses to say anything about them, Swindon, tell us what you guys think. We didn't have you doing particularly well this year. Obviously, it's going really badly. I think you've lost like 6 of your last 7. The last win you had was that incredible comeback against Oxford. I'm not going to comment a huge amount right now on you guys. We thought you'd do slightly better than you are, but you're not. Swindon fans, why do you feel what's happening is happening? How do you feel about how the season's gone? Ian, you have 30 seconds to talk about just Doncaster, and then we're moving on to the final match.
Tom, you can't. I've got things to say about Swindon. I'm sorry. I've got things to say. I'm overruling. yeah, they've been terrible. They're playing Ipswich at the moment. We don't know how they're going to get on in that one. But I will say they've recruited well already. They brought in some players in defence and they brought in a new goalkeeper. Defenders were desperately needed for Swindon. And they've got in a guy from Brentford and they got a guy in from Sheffield United. And hopefully that will start to make, well, from Swindon's point of view, don't really care, will start to make the difference for them. And I will actually say, I don't want Swindon to go down. I want Swindon to be in the same league as Oxford. So I want the derby to happen every time. And
yeah, but how are they going to be in the same league as Oxford when Oxford get promoted?
Yeah, I know, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? But especially now we're looking for Revengi. Tough game. Again, 2 tough games in a row, though. This is going to be a tough one against Doncaster. They've been really good this season.
They'd won 4 matches before they lost 1-0 to Shrewsbury Town, but they beat Burton in that time. They beat Swindon. So it's only been December 15th was when they last met. They beat Doncaster, beat Gillingham, and they beat Northampton. So they've been beating the teams around them. And more than anything else, Doncaster Rovers are going to be coming off a 1-0 victory over Blackburn Rovers. So they've taken the step up and won a game. They're going to be full of belief. And yes. I'm jumping past this. 3-0 to Doncaster for me.
Yeah, you got to say it. This is going to be Doncaster win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Donny win. Thank you for sticking with us, Very Biased Opinions loyal fans, for listening to my delightful insight and Tom's absolute rabble about these games that really don't mean anything because there's only one game to talk about. We've got there. It's the main event.
Manchester United.
Shut up, you tart.
Northampton Town versus Oxford United.
Oh my God. Is there a better side in world football at the moment than Oxford United? I do not. I honestly struggle. I struggle to think. You put us on a pitch with any side, I think, and we'd win the Copa Libertadores 9 times out of 10.
It's because you have Carlos Tevez playing for you. You guys have been, honestly though, I'm not going to let you talk too much about this, but you've been fantastic. 4 straight wins. I don't think you've lost in 10 matches now. Is it 10-game unbeaten run?
Carl Robinson said it. It's the Swindon game gave everybody the kick up the backside, and Oxford have been much better since that game. Couldn't have been better, to be fair. They've been much better since that game.
But banging in goals, they now have the 2nd or 3rd best attack in the league somehow. It's insane how many goals they've scored. They look like the team we thought they'd be at the beginning of the season. Defensively, so solid all of a sudden.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep a change. Talk about that a load of times. We were actually going to be doing a review video for this one, which I'm toying with the idea of maybe Tom and myself might do that as a live stream.
I'm getting my hair cut that day.
Just me then. If not, it'll be coming up at the end of the week, the preview for that one. Obviously, we played Northampton Town pretty recently and we got a really good 4-0 win against them. It was a garbage first half, but the goals came and that kicked on. That was the first of a 4-game winning streak, I believe. And yeah, we were excellent last time out against Burton. We played them at probably the best possible time before Jimmy Harold Hasselbank took over. So they were an absolute mess. And yeah, Taylor got a really good goal. Shadipo, excellent, got a really good goal as well. And all the parts just look like they're working really well. You looked at a month ago or so, you thought, oh God, Robinson really needs to strengthen in the window. And he even came out and said that again. And now he's kind of backtracked that on a little bit, saying players are playing so well at the moment and we haven't got that many injuries. Starting to think that we don't necessarily need to bring in a load of bodies. Shadipo especially has come on leaps and bounds on loan. McGuane being another loan player has come on leaps and bounds. Would probably need another centre-back just as cover. But other than that, the bases are kind of covered a little bit for Oxford United. I think the side's looking strong, the side's looking good, and I've got no reason to think we're not going to beat this Northampton side that we've beaten just a few weeks ago. I think we'll go to Sixfield and beat them 2-0.
Yeah, Northampton, I'm sorry if we don't have time to talk about you a huge amount. You guys aren't having a great year, but you are just above the relegation zone. You're just surviving. Good for you. Congratulations. Ian, before you even get to do your score prediction, wait, did you give your prediction?
I did, but I will just say Northampton have had a win and a draw in their last couple of games.
They have. What was your score?
2-0 to the boys in yellow and blue.
I'm going for a 3-0 Yellows victory in this. And before Ian gets to talk any more about Oxford United, I'm cutting him off. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for liking and subscribing. Those of you that have not done that, please do. It helps out the channel immensely. Please give us a like if you like the video. Please don't give us a thumbs down unless we really said something that made you think we were awful people. And well, we are. How do you know? Comments below. Tell us all about your team. Tell us how you're feeling about the season going. Let us know things. I'm not very clever. I need to be given prompts. Have a look below at Grandstand Betters. They're a fantastic tipster website. They will win you money. There's links to UR feed. There's Amazon affiliate stuff. There's our website. Check out our website. All our scores go on there. If you don't want to watch the whole video, go on there and you can check what we said. We love you dearly. We hope you're all staying safe. We hope life is going well for you. Ian, anything?
Yeah, I got something. When we do Premier League predictions, I have to introduce you every week as resident expert Manchester United fan. Do I get that same courtesy? Do I balls? You cut me off by the legs talking about Oxford United if I go over 30 seconds. And they're the thing anybody even comes here for.
Okay, so now that I've done the closing, Ian, anything you'd like to say about Oxford United?
Just round it off. I'm too much of a mediocre mood.
We'll see you at the Oxford United preview.